ZapdosTCG here and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. Today we're checking out Twilight Masquerade. It's gonna be a mini set review. So yeah, it's actually gonna be the cards we're getting on the 24th of May, which is actually in 2 months time. So Temporal Forces releases in about 4 days, and then 2 months later, poof, we have already a new set which is gonna be ginormous. So I already took a lot of time with Temporal Forces, checking out all the best decks, checking out predictive tier lists, checking out the best cards, etc., preparing myself for EOIC. But actually, with all these cards being revealed over in Japan, we already have like cool proxies that we're going to be using today as a little mini set review to see what's coming. But first of all, be sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. We are so close to reaching 50,000 subscribers, so that's going to be insane to think about. I want to thank every single one of you guys out there that is making this possible. And also go check out our sponsors, of course, which help support the channel every single day. You can use the coupon ZapdosTCG over at dragonshield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes for 5% off. There's also yourplaymat.com. If you want to create your own custom playmat, you can do so today to get 10% off. Just click that link down below and they ship worldwide, so create your custom playmat you've always dreamed of. There's PokemonStore.com for the TCG Live code cards. If you're looking for making sure that your account has everything that you want, go head over to the PokemonStore.com website, and using the coupon code ZapdosTCG can get you 5% off. And of course, CARDMARKET.com for European players to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. You can use the referral name ZapdosTCG. With that being said, Twilight Masquerade will also come with new ACE SPEC cards, new terrestrialized EX cards, etc. So we're going to be taking a sneak peek review. So with all the cards that I currently have, if you're wondering which website this is PokemonProxies.com, and they already have English scans available for cards that have not been released yet, and that includes like the cool terrestrialized Greninja EX, which is a fighting type, etc. We're going to be talking about all these incredible cards in today's video. So if you guys are enjoying the content like this, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. And without further ado, let's dive into this mini set review. So we come first with the Tang Road here. Taking 30 less damage from attacks, and actually is not that great of a card, to be honest. It's a stage 1 with 150 HP, but that's about it. The pincer has a cool attack here. Discard all energies from this Pokemon. At the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out. The problem is that everyone can just manually retreat out of the situation. But maybe I could see something like Pincer with the Spidops EX working, where they're not able to retreat. You spam that with Iono, just knock them out that way. The problem why I don't think this is good, we're not in like a 3 prize meta with like VMAXs and stuff. We are with 2 prizers, EXs, V-stars, etc. So that's never going to be that great of a strategy. Moving forward, there is an area that actually has the big net ability. Your opponent's active evolution Pokemon's retreat cost is 1 colorless energy more. It has 90 HP, but unfortunately Level Ball has rotated. It is also coming together with that strategy of the Spidops EX, making sure the opponent's retreat cost is more and more and more, but this only works on your opponent's active evolution Pokemon. Also, the attack slaps more damage for every energy in the opponent's retreat cost. I still think this is not that great of a strategy. The Leafeon here allows you to accelerate a basic grass energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, and you can heal all damage from that Pokemon if you attach an energy in that way. It is an attack on a stage 1, so there are better ways to heal. Think about Turo, etc. So personally would not bother with this. There's a Future Iron Leaves, which actually allows you to put 2 Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. So you can actually get back some of your Pokemon that are in the discard pile. Could be interesting. It is an attack though. Next up is going to be the Vengeful Edge, slapping 100 damage. And if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, you slap 160 damage. So that is actually kind of a powerful attack, might I add, because you can boost that damage up with the Iron Crown EX and the Future Energy Boost Capsule to some ridiculous numbers here and there. But on the other hand, can you just power this up maybe with EXP share and double Turbo Energy? You can get something funky going, but I'm not too keen on this, because if you're looking for a grass type attacker, you're probably better off using the Iron Leaves EX, which can absorb energies that were put into play, so I would go with that. There's the Poltergeist, and has an ability, as long as this Pokemon is on the bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attack. So pretty similar to the Bidoof we have currently access to. It only has 30 HP though. But when it evolves into Sinistcha EX, it actually gets 240 HP. First attack, Infusion Retribution. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. Put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon for each basic grass energy in your discard pile. Then shuffle those energies back into your deck. So, interesting strategy. Let's say you get like 10 energies in your discard pile. You can actually put 20 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. That for just 1 energy, but then you just shuffle them back into your deck. So you have to find ways to put them in the discard pile time and time again. Are there strategies for that? Of course, you can run a Kirlia engine with the refinement to make sure you can discard them, but it's going to be way too slow of a strategy in my opinion. And yeah, having a weakness to fire doesn't, yeah, it's pretty okay, I suppose. Only Radiant Zard can touch you, I would suppose, but they already one-shot, so it's an okay-ish weakness to have. But 240 HP, you will get one-shotted by lots of things in the format, and the damage output is just way too low. Next up, a couple of bulk cards, but there's Macargo, a Terra Macargo EX. Unfortunately, it is still Fire type, which is its initial type. 70 damage and burn with its first attack, and then ground burn. Each player discards the top card of their deck. This attack does 140 more damage for each energy discarded in this way. So you could get 280 damage output with that. You can, of course, I would say you could put something on top of the deck with something like the Codebreaker's Deciphering. And then you can put an energy on top and then boom, off you go, slapping 280 damage pretty convincingly. You can get this off with an attach of the turn, then a Magma Basin and something going around there. 280 damage, not that bad of a damage output considering most of the V-Stars are just one-shot. Actually, all of the V-Stars are one-shotted by that damage output, but bigger threats out there, think about Gardevoir EX, Charizard EX are not one-shotted with that attack, which gets me concerned. And also you have to put damage onto yourself because the only way you can consistently power this up is through the means of Magma Basin. There's a new Torkoal card. Some people are very excited for that, but it's actually pretty much of a bulk card. There's an Infernape. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic fire energy and a basic fighting energy, or one of each from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. We've seen an ability like this before on a Swampert card. I believe we've seen something like that before on the, yeah, how was it called? On another Pokemon as well, and it actually never saw play. It is a stage 2, it's way too much to get going. Let's move forward, some more bulk cards. There's a Fion, allowing you to put a supporter from the discard pile into your hand. Problem with that, it's not insta-playable. There's Iono in the format, so not good at all. There's a good-looking Froakie out there, which allows you to get yourself 2 Froakie and put them on the bench. So when you go second and attach an energy of turn, you can go with this Froakie to multiply. So we've seen that before with something like the Frogadier. But now the Froakie is able to multiply on the first turn going second, which is very great because we're going to have a very playable Greninja EX Terra. Cramorant allowing you to slap 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for 3 colorless energy. Probably not the best sniping Pokemon we have. Walking Wake with its second attack allows you to put up to 9 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20 more damage for each damage counter you put in this way. So pretty similar to the Frozlast we had, something like in that, and Unified Minds, if I believe, so something like that. This actually requires you to have, yeah, you can put up to 9, so you can slap 180, I suppose, which actually is not a lot, so I'm not too keen on the damage output here. Although 180 being a water type and an ancient card, you can actually boost your damage output, and you can also power this up with Sada. So you could technically get this off pretty quickly. Sada, attach of turn, E-switch and something like that, and you're off to go. Is there a weakness where we need to, actually a Pokemon where we need to hit water weakness currently? I currently don't think so. So Walking Wake, not that great currently. There's a Zapdos. I couldn't be more ecstatic because I love Zapdos cards. Unfortunately, this one is pretty much going into the bulk because it's not great. There's a Moreco. Once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your deck, then you may discard it. Could work with Macargo just to make sure it is an energy out there. And yeah, also you have the Pick and Patch. Attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. So it's actually a pretty interesting Moreco card. We've seen worse Moreco cards for sure. There is Iron Thorns EX, a future card. While this Pokemon is in the active spot, Pokemon with a rule box in play, except any future Pokemon, don't have any abilities. This is like path to the peak if you are in the active position, except for future Pokemon. The only future Pokemon that has an interesting ability is probably something like Iron Bundle. I would also say Iron Leaves EX. Those Pokemon are not affected whatsoever. But Pokemon with rule boxes in play that are not future Pokemon, Radiant Greninja, you cannot use that any longer. Charizard EX, I'm sorry, I have my Iron Thorns EX in the active position. Your rule box ability does not activate. So pretty much path to the peak in the active. This is very, very good, and future boxes will definitely emerge and slow the opponent down enough with Iron Thorns. Also not too bad of an attack, being able to slap 140. But that boosts up the damage output. Think about Iron Crown, Future Energy Boost Capsule. The only thing that's bad is that it's monstrous retreat cost, but that's where Future Energy Boost Capsule comes into fruition. But you can slow the opponent down. Think about like Squawkabilly. I'm sorry, I actually started with Iron Thorns. Now you are bricking, and that's what the story is. Very great card, Iron Thorns EX. Then there is Fairy Giraffe, 40 damage for each of your stage 1 Pokemon in play. So let's say you can get like 5 of them out. You slap a solid 200 damage. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. But can you get enough stage 1s out? Of course, there's an ACE SPEC card allowing you to search out stage 1s. More on that later. But this is an interesting stage 1. There's a Florus. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. The new active Pokemon is now confused. This is a stage 2. Probably will never see play. Enormous, Love Resonance, 80 damage. If you have a Pokemon with the same type as one of your opponent's Pokemon in play, this attack does 200. Maybe with Barrage Gate something could get going here because let's face it, Radiant Greninja is almost in every deck. It's with a water type. Comfey is a Psychic type. Lots of people have Psychic type Pokemon in their deck. So yeah, maybe this could be a one-of in Law's box as a formidable attacker. Screamtail EX. You can use this attack only if you go second and only if it's your first turn. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporter cards from their hand. Holy moly, this is actually pretty damn terrifying. Yeah, only if you go second and only on your first turn, but you could lock the opponent out of supporters. That actually is crazy. That slows them down so much. This could be seeing use, definitely for that attack. Its second attack is just bulky, but that's just yeah, discarding energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. Also, it is an ancient card, so might I add that this could technically be used in the ancient box to just slow the opponent down enough so you're a little bit quicker for your damage output. But also something I would say only if you go second and only on your first turn. So in decks that want to be going second, I suppose. Yeah, interesting card, definitely. There's a couple of bulk cards going around. Actually, I always say Radiant Greninja, but it's Greninja EX Terrestrialized. It's a fighting type, meaning you hit weakness against Iron Hands EX, Arceus V-Star. For one single energy, you slap 170 damage. And you may search your deck for any card and put it in your hand. Power creep is insane. I should make a video surely about like a 1 energy attack cost that have been slowly but steadily getting like better and better and better. I remember back in the days when I started the channel with Donphan Prime having 60 damage output for 1 energy, and I thought that was insane to think about. Now we are having the 170 damage output for 1 single energy, and you can search the deck for any card. That's crazy. And then we have Gmax Rapid Flow. 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. It's actually a duplicate Barrage, but it's like Gmax Rapid Flow. Yo, actually you can get like, you can discard the DTE and just go for 120 to 2 targets. So a very, very, very strong card. Only having a 1 retreat cost definitely helps out. And yeah, with this is having an age regulation mark when Manaphy rotates, this is going to be even more bonkers. But then again, with Ninja Blade, being able to fetch any card from the deck, you can get yourself Cologne when you need to, and then you just Boss Zors and boom, you just swoop the entire field of the opponent. There's a Tinglu, allowing you to slap 30 damage if you have a Stadium in play. Actually, if a Stadium card is in play, this is like does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Then discard that Stadium. So, 30 to everything, pretty much. That's kind of like, do you remember Tapu Koko Flying Flip back in the days of the Guardians Rising days, Sun and Moon? That was a very great spread mechanic. Now with TM Devolution by our side and Tinglu slapping the field with 30 on everything, this might see play when Manaphy is gone. When Manaphy is gone, like spread is going to be very dangerous. Alright. We have some Applin, we have Diplin. yeah, not too great of a Pokemon. An EV with Ascension, search your deck for a deck, for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it on that Pokemon. Pretty much getting your evolution of choice. The problem I see it is not with an ability. Back in the days of Sun and Moon, it was with an ability. This time around, it is not. There is a very tanky Snorlax, basic Pokemon with 160 HP. Crazy, but it needs bazillion energies. Blood Moon Ursaluna, probably one of my favorites from the Twilight Masquerade set. It's pretty much a Radiant Charizard, but it works in every single deck because Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is a Colorless type. So pretty much you pay 1 Colorless energy less for the attack cost for every prize card the opponent has taken. Blood Moon slaps 240 damage. So if the opponent has taken 4 prize cards, you can get this off with a single attachment. 1 energy 240 is insane. You can knock out basic EX Pokemon. You can knock out, like, with something like a maximum belt, you can even knock out, like, I would say, not really. Stage 1 EXs, I would suppose, but also Blood Moon Ursaluna comes back with 260 HP by itself. It's kind of insane. And also with DTE, you still slap 220, which is actually the magical number for, like, most basic EX Pokemon or basic V Pokemon around. Pretty much meaning if the opponent has taken 3 prize cards, you can get that off with a DTE, a very strong universal card that I personally would be sliding into most of my decks just because low maintenance attackers in your deck is always good. Talking about good, unfair stamp. Remember reset stamp? Well, this actually goes the extra mile. As long as your opponent has knocked out something during their turn from our side of the field, we can play this card. Then you can actually put the opponent down to 2 cards while you have 5. So each player shuffles their hand into the deck. You get 5 fresh cards. The opponent only gets 2. This can get off as soon as something gets knocked out instantly. You can search this out with Irida. You can search this out with Arven. You see where we're going with this? You can run away with games because of unfair stamp. And you can combine this with like some disruption. Think about Eerie. Eerie in combination with unfair stamp does seem like a deadly combo. Also thinking about like unfair stamp with an Iron Treads, or was it Iron Thorns in the active position where the opponent doesn't have access to abilities, is strong. Think about this being scouted out by Pidgeot EX. You can easily find that if necessary, and yeah, you can run away with games. Think about Arbok EX, discarding cards from the opponent's hand. It's a very, very strong ACE SPEC card. It has to compete with something like Prime Catcher, Maximum Belt, etc. Maybe even Hero Escape, but this is also a very strong option in decks. Enhanced Hammer sees its return to the game after being away for, actually absent for a couple of years, I would say. So Enhanced Hammer being back, way better than the thing we had before it. I don't even remember what it was. It was like putting it on the bottom of the deck. But now Enhanced Hammer is back. Is it going to be time where Enhanced Hammer is going to be good? Probably not, because most powerful decks in the format right now are relying on basic energy cards. Think about Lost Box, think about Charizard, think about Roaring Moon. They're all playing basic energy, so not too keen on that. Hyper Aroma. This is pretty much like Mirage Gate at home. We have search your deck for 3 stage 1 Pokemon and put them in hand. So if you have a solid start with Buddy Puffins and being able to get out your Rolls, or I don't know in which other decks this could be utilized. Anyhow, you can get yourself 3 stage 1s, and the initial strategy is gonna get out 3 Kirlia and just get rolling with it. Reprint of Switch, reprint of Pokemon Catcher. There's a Love Ball, which is even worse than a Friend Ball. Search your deck for a Pokemon with the same name as one of your opponent's Pokemon in play. If everyone in the format is playing like Bidoof, this could be seeing play, I guess, but that's not the case. There's way too many decks in the format that this card would ever see play. Survival Cast. This is like Focus Sash, but then you can use it on non-fighting Pokemon. It's an ACE SPEC card. You can put it on a Pokemon. If it is one-shotted, it is not one-shotted, and its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. It is not knocked out. That means the opponent doesn't take prize cards, so and then you have to discard this card. You can also loop this with the means of Silene, and if you can get this card back and stuff, it could be. I could see a combo going. The problem with this ACE SPEC is that when Lost Vacuum is played, your strategy goes down the drain. Lucky Helmet returns to the format, not that great. There's a Caretaker. Yeah, nah. Caretaker is not great. Yeah, it actually allows you to draw cards, and if the community center is in play, a stadium card, you can shuffle this supporter back into your deck. It's not great. It's only drawing 2 cards. Lucian returns to the game. Ever since Diamond and Pearl, we haven't seen another Lucian card. Elite 4 member. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of the deck. If either players put any cards on the bottom of the deck, they flip a coin. If heads, you draw 6 cards. If tails, you draw 3. Not great. You don't want to give the opponent a fresh hand of 6. There's just Perrin. Reveal up to 2 Pokemon from your hand and shuffle them into your deck. Search your deck for up to that many Pokemon, reveal them and put them in hand. So Pokemon communication ×2, but it is a supporter. This is actually not too shabby, I would say. You declunk your hand, get 2 Pokemon you really want. Is it better than just playing Jock? I don't know. Lana's Assistance, put 3 and any combination of Pokemon you don't have a rule box and basic energy cards from your discard pile in the hand. 3 in any combination. The problem I see reminds me of Clara, but you cannot get a Radiant Pokemon back. So getting like Charizard and Energy is not gonna be the case. You can get Pokemon and Energy instantly to hand though. Is there gonna be a way where you actually put this into a deck? Currently, I would say no. Community Center, once during each player's turn, if that player has already played a supporter from their hand, they may heal 10 damage from each of their Pokemon. It's like Champions Festival, but in a different situation. Most of the time you do play a supporter, so Gardevoir might be using this to get an additional... Nah, I don't think so, because initially like it worked with Shining Arcana healing 10 damage, but with like stuff like Drifloon having 70 HP, Screamtail having 90 HP, I don't think it works out. So unfortunately, I don't see this working out. Boomerang Energy. Very interesting one. If this card is discarded by the effect of an attack used by the Pokemon this card is attached to, attach this card from your discard pile to that Pokemon afterwards. So pretty much, let's say you use, for example, that Greninja EX. You attacked with it and there's 2 Boomerang Energies attached to it. Well, they instantly go back, which means if you have like discard all energies attached to this Pokemon and stuff with a super powerful attack, you can instantly get them back with the Boomerang Energy. So a very strong special energy, by the way. Also, in decks like Lugia might see some usage. You can maybe slide in like a Cramorant that could snipe 120 and then put in this Boomerang Energy and your energy just get returned. Probably not the best idea out there, but yeah, you could get the point. Your energy is returned, which is great. Mask of Changes was also a Japanese set, being part of the Twilight Masquerade set. Matcha Allowed, 70 damage, discard up to 3 basic grass energies from your hand, and then 70 damage for each card discarded in that way. Stage 1 Grass Pokemon. You can knock out Charizards with it, which is hilarious. Only having 70 HP gets me concerned a little bit though. Monkey Didori, Adrenaline Power. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has a Darkness Energy attached to it, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. We've seen stuff like this before. If you get damage, you tank a hit, you can use this if it has a Darkness Energy attached to do some stuff. Any Darkness Pokemon out there that want to be making use of this, I currently don't know. So, but it's an interesting ability on a basic Pokemon. There's a Fazandipiti, Adrenaline Pheromones. Okay, once during your turn, if this Pokemon has a Darkness Energy attached, and if any damage is done to this Pokemon, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that attack. So we've seen that countless times before. Not that interesting. Okidogi. Oh yeah, Okidogi or whatever. Adrenaline Power. If it has a Darkness Energy attached, you get 100 additional HP and the attack's damage output do 100 more damage. So that's actually pretty damn nice, but it needs a Darkness Energy. Okay, now you can use the Luminous Energy and a Fighting Energy and off you go. I would say that's not too bad here. 230 HP basic Pokemon slapping 170 damage. I could see this maybe working out. Who knows? Luminous Energies will be the key, I suppose, but you need 2 energies. How do you get this off? Maybe like the Fighting Pickaxe Shenanigans. The Bug Catching Set. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to any combination of Grass Pokemon and Grass basic energies. You find them and put them in hand. So digging a little bit deeper for those Grass Pokemon with the Bug Catching Set. Kiran. You have 2 options. Back in the days, we had 2 options with specific supporters. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So you have a switch you can use. Or during this turn, your Pokemon's attack do 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX or active Pokemon V. I remember like Professor Kukui also having that, but that was a little bit of a draw supporter. But 30 more damage is actually not bad. Specific math could be fixed with this on top of something like a Defiance Band, or I would say a Maximum Belt on top of it. So there are definitely combinations where this could see its unique usage because you can fetch it out with Lumineon V. Then we have Carmen. If you go first, you may play this card. So a supporter allowing you to play it on the first turn. So supporter, Lumineon, Carmine, you can do this on the first turn. Discard your hand, draw 5. Interesting. Interesting way to dig, I would say. You can use this on your first turn. So that's an interesting one. Maybe people will play this. If you go first, you may play the supporter. So you discard your hand, draw 5. So it's a strong supporter, I would say. And then the mask, and these are actually the Twilight Masquerade, the mask sets. Actually, I reviewed those in a different video. Be sure to check that out in the description below. There will be a link with these. As a little quick run through, there's an Ogerpon EX, which allows you to accelerate the grass energy from your hand to the Pokemon, and then you can draw a card as well. There are different masks out there, and you can flip-flop between them. With the Ogre's Mask item card, you can transform your current EX with one of the Ogerpon EXs in your discard pile. All the energies and special conditions and damage counters and any other effects go to the new Pokemon. So that's pretty cool because there's a different one out there. There's this one, allowing you to slap 100 and snipe 120. There's the fighting type one, allowing you to prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have abilities. Very strong, I would say. There's the fire one, doing more damage for every damage counter on it, and also could slap 280 if it has 3 fire energies attached. And then there is the grass one, 30 damage plus 30 more for every energy attached to both active Pokemon. Will this be a good deck? Who knows? But the cool thing is that it is going to be a new own archetype by itself using the Ogre's Mask item card. So that's pretty much it for this mini set review, or actually the sneak peek set review from Twilight Masquerade. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways to support the channel. If you have other video ideas, let me know down below in the comments as well, as we are going to be exploring the battle videos of Temporal Forces very shortly. The set comes out at the end of the week, so it's going to be very excited for sure. I'm very excited to be creating new TCG live content. And also, be sure to check out my sponsors. If you're looking for Dragon Shield product, you can get 5% off, 10% off of your playmat, and 5% off over at PokemonStore.com. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Let me know what your favorite card is that you saw in today's upload, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG content. Thank you for watching. Peace.